Have you ever felt like you can't be separated from your phone or your favorite apps? Or have you ever wondered why you always go back to certain products, even though you know they're not good for you? How do technology companies make us addicted to their products? What is the secret behind our addiction to social media, online games, and online shopping? Welcome to the Smart Employee channel. This time, I will discuss a book titled Hooked by Nir Eyal. In this book, you will discover the mysteries behind our addiction to everyday products. Find out how companies cleverly design their products to keep us coming back and using them. I have summarized it into 8 important points in this book. Chapter 1. It's difficult to change old habits. Every New Year's resolution, we often have new intentions, such as quitting smoking, eating healthier, or exercising regularly. However, why is it that within a few days, we often revert back to our old habits? One of the reasons is the strong attachment to our existing habits. Our brains tend to choose familiar routines because they are perceived as more efficient. For example, we may have felt relieved after snacking when feeling stressed, and our brains remember that. However, changing habits is not an easy task. Even if we try new routines, the traces of our old habits in our brains still exist and can easily resurface. That's why many people go back to bad habits even though they have made a strong effort to avoid them. Chapter 2. Creating products that consumers are accustomed to. Many successful businesses and online products today have one secret, which is to make people become accustomed. For example, smartphones that we check every morning to see messages. Products like this have advantages because customers who are already accustomed will remain loyal and will talk about the product to their friends. Products that make people accustomed will be difficult to beat by competitors. For example, even though there are keyboards better than QWERTY, people still use QWERTY because they are already accustomed. Manufacturers can set prices more freely because customers are already accustomed, so they don't care too much if the price goes up. Like online games that are initially free, for example, but after players are accustomed, they are willing to pay. But why? Can products that make people accustomed be very successful? Let's watch more in the next chapter. Chapter 3. Model Hook. Many companies want their products to become consumer habits. But how? There is something called the model hook, a 4-step process that can make people accustomed to a product, as follows. 1. Trigger. It is an event that motivates us to try a product for the first time, such as seeing a TV advertisement. 2. Action. It is what we do to be able to use the product, such as signing up on a website. 3. Reward. It is what we get after taking action to fulfill our needs. For example, if we are hungry and eat, the reward is feeling full. 4. Investment. It is something valuable that we give to obtain a product or service, such as time, money, or information. After the 4th step, we go back to the 1st step. Over time, we start using the product without needing an external trigger, so we use it automatically and unconsciously. Chapter 4. Triggers. Habits are formed through a gradual process. Initially, we may only be interested in a product or service. This interest can arise from external triggers, such as advertisements or recommendations from friends. These external triggers are important in the beginning, before the product becomes a habit for us. Remember when you first tried Facebook? It might have been because of an invitation from a friend or family member. These external triggers can help us try a product or service. After trying it, we can decide whether we will continue to use it or not. Internal triggers are also important because manufacturers cannot rely solely on external triggers to form habits. Internal triggers make us want to use the product more often. The more often we use the product, the greater the likelihood that we will form a habit. Internal triggers can be our needs or desires. For example, we use a weather app to find out the weather conditions, or we use a social media app to connect with friends and family. Emotions are important because they can also be internal triggers, which is why advertisements often use images or music that evoke feelings. For example, we use games to alleviate boredom, or we use social media to feel more connected to others. Chapter 5. Actions. In the world of products, mere triggers are not enough. People will only take action if there is a trigger, motivation, and ease of use. Triggers can be advertisements, recommendations from friends, or personal experiences. Motivation can be as simple as seeking pleasure or avoiding pain. Ease of use can be achieved through simple design, intuitive processes, or useful features. There are many ways to make a product easier to use. For example, using simple design, clear language, or providing clear instructions. The most important thing is that it should be simple and easy to follow. If it's complicated, people may become reluctant to try. A complicated product will frustrate users and make them not want to use it again. For example, a website with a long and complicated registration process will make users reluctant to sign up. Imagine wanting to register on a social media site, but it's difficult or time-consuming. It would definitely make you lose interest, right? But if there is a clearly labeled "Sign Up Now" button, it would be more appealing. Motivation can also come from simple desires, such as the desire to have fun and feel better. So, triggers can make us take action and try a product. But what makes us continue to use it until it becomes a routine? Chapter 6. Reward. Motivation can make us try a product, but it is the desired outcome that will make us continue to use it. The product must live up to its promises to keep us interested. Ordinary rewards are not enough to maintain our enthusiasm. We need different kinds of rewards. Why? Because our curiosity while waiting for a reward is sometimes greater than when we actually receive it. For example, we don't know what we will find while scrolling through Twitter, and that's exciting. To keep users engaged, various types of rewards are needed. It could be recognition from friends on Facebook, winning in a game, or a sense of satisfaction after completing a difficult level. However, most importantly, the rewards must align with the reasons why we use the product. Chapter 7. Investment. You have seen how a trigger can drive action and provide a reward. So, what is the next step in the hook model, which connects back to the trigger? The answer is investment. When users invest their time or money, they are more likely to continue using the product. We typically value something that we invest in. If we frequently use a product, our tendency is to keep using it. For example, you may not initially be interested in a particular social media platform. However, after your friends start using it and you give it a try a few times, you begin to like it and use it frequently. So, by repeating the cycle of trigger, action, reward, and investment, users become accustomed to the product. In other words, they become addicted. Chapter 8. Using the hook model effectively. Every entrepreneur wants their product to be popular and frequently used. The hook model can help, but you must truly understand your product and your customers. Not all products need to create habitual usage. For example, people only buy life insurance once, so there is no need to make it a habit. Only products that require constant interaction need that. If you want your product to create habitual usage, first understand what your customers want and what your product can offer. The product must be able to solve user problems so that they become accustomed to using it. If you are creating a new product, find out the expectations of your customers and tailor it to the hook model. However, if you want to improve an existing product, look at your loyal users and learn their habits. This can provide insights to attract other users. In essence, the way to apply the hook model varies depending on the product. But if you can meet customer needs with your product and frequently guide them with the hook model, your product has great potential for success. Conclusion. Products that successfully increase customer loyalty typically rely on repeated usage, which forms habits. This is achieved through a cycle consisting of triggers, actions, rewards, and investments. Please comment in the comment section what lessons you learned from this video. Additionally, comment on what other issues you would like to discuss on this channel. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Smart Employees channel.